here is the finger stretching and independence exercise. We'll start on the 8th fret. We'll put our first finger down on the E string. We'll hover over the 9th fret, the 10th, and the 11th with the other 3 fingers. And we'll play every fret from 8 to 11 on every string. Always playing right next to the fret wire. As we play, as we add another finger, we will not be lifting the previous finger. That is what makes our fingers stretch. And that's what makes the stretch permanent, which will make it easier for you to play in pretty much any context you need to be playing in. Now we're starting here on the 8th fret because the frets here are much less wide than they are down at the end. This area over here will be more for micro shifts, a different technique that makes it unnecessary for us to stretch our fingers, to spread our fingers over the 1st, 2nd, 3rd, and 4th fret, for instance, which would be very difficult to do just, for an entire song. It would get a bit tiring. Although, if your fingers are long enough, you can probably do that. But most people, I suppose, wouldn't really bother when there's easier ways to play there. So, let's have a look at some other items on the checklist for this exercise. So, our starting position is with the fingers hovering above their respective frets. They keep those frets from the beginning to the end of the exercise. We keep pressing with each finger. As we add more, we will not let our fingers slide to the right as we play. That would defeat the purpose of the stretch, because the fingers would be relaxing and moving towards the left. So we're not going to be doing this, letting them go to the left as we add them. This is something that might happen at the start because your fingers can't quite stretch that well yet, so they're gonna go to the left. They're gonna get close together, so you're gonna want to avoid that. Don't let your fingers move too far from the strings. So when you're changing strings here, don't let the other ones go away like that. You want to keep them close to the strings at all times. This principle is called the minimum movement, and it will make anything you play much more accurate. So notice how when I'm changing strings, the others just kind of hover above the string. They kind of hover between the string that they've just played and the string that they're about to play. The first finger will always move first when we change strings. Now let's have a look at this first finger. Actually, there is something that's quite important about the way we place it that I maybe should have mentioned a bit earlier. So the first finger will be quite flat. It will be a little bit round, but in terms of its distance to the strings, it will be touching all of them. So the pad of the first finger will be pressing the E string, and the bottom of the first finger will be touching all the 3 strings below, muting them. Now the second finger and the third can curl. They can bend into the palm. They will be on their tips, and this is not set in stone. Sometimes you will play with your second finger or your third in a flat shape, in the same sort of shape that the first one is, muting the strings below it. But for this exercise and other instances like playing a scale, they will be curled and on their tips. Now, one thing here is the stretch between 2 and 3 is not a natural stretch. So 1 and 2 can separate like that quite easily, quite naturally. Now the second and the third, they don't really do that much in any other instance. So this is the one that you'll probably be struggling with the most. This is also the one that we won't be pushing too hard. And the fourth finger will be symmetrical to the first. So the first finger is staying nice and flat, touching all the other strings, just a little bit round like that, playing that E string with its pad and muting everything else. The second and the third on their tips and curled. The fourth finger will be symmetrical to the first, so it's doing exactly what the first is doing as well, just staying nice and flat and muting all the strings below it. Another important thing is to keep the tempo steady. So just like I played the exercise before, we're not going to take any breaks. 2, 3, 4, and we're letting the notes ring out clearly. 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2. So not taking any breaks between the strings either. This is the exact same way we'll be playing our scales as well, and arpeggios, and anything else we'll learn that requires this kind of repetition. And for this exercise in particular, we're going to want to play slowly because we're working on our most basic fretting technique. And, well, we don't want to be making any early mistakes that could turn into bad habits. So we're going to want to play as slowly as possible.